Hi there, Colin, aka the Tone Wizard here, and welcome to Ween Talk episode 13, entitled The Boys Are Back. And this video is going to be about the 2016 reunion down in Colorado that I was very fortunate to actually attend in person. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've got all sorts of interesting shit planned, and I'm having a very good green screen day here. So that's good. The longer beard has posed some green screen problems, as you can see. But you know what? I'm doing this for free, so this is pretty good, I think. Although set it up, my hand just fucking disappears over here. Not a big deal. We're still going to have a good video. Before I start today's video, I just want to give a thanks to some new subscribers, Mark Taylor, Chef Toasty, and Trish Hines. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. I hope to see you involved down there in the comments. If you have anything to add to what I have to say, if you disagree with me and feel I'm an idiot talking perpetually out of my own asshole, that's fine too. I welcome disagreements and different opinions. That's fine. So thank you very much for subscribing. And also thank you to Hippo, who asked me where's the next video. He was asking, or he or she, I don't know who you are. It's just Hippo. It could be a actual hippopotamus for all I fucking know. Either way, man, thank you for encouraging me to make another video. I've been a little bit busy over the last couple of weeks. I actually got married. Check out that fucking shit. Can you hear the Sauron's voice? That is the one ring to rule my heart. Got married last weekend. It was absolutely fantastic. And what better time to do a wedding than a pandemic? It was just the two of us, a couple of witnesses, and a celebrant. And it was a very fucking nice day. So didn't have a lot of time to make videos in the last couple of weeks, but I'm back at it now. And let me tell you, I'm going to take some time over Christmas. There's going to be more videos coming than you'll even want to watch. But please watch them. Please. Okay. Let's get right into this. The 2016 reunion in Broomfield, Colorado, of all places, very close to Denver, just outside of Denver. And that, of course, took place in February of 2016. I believe it was the 12th, 13th, and 14th. And like I say, I was fortunate enough to be down there and take in all 3 nights. And as a proof of that, I got a picture of my tickets right there, even though they say this is not a ticket for entry or re-entry. I bought my tickets online, and that's what they gave me when they scanned my code that I had on my phone. I remember getting the tickets. I was sitting in my truck on the day the tickets went up for sale, and I was just sitting there refreshing the ticket page. And if you heard me talk in any of the previous videos, or if you can pick out my funny accent, I'm not from Minnesota. I'm from Canada. And so basically my whole plan was, if I could get the tickets, I would just find some way to go. And I was actually in a bit of a downward trending pattern at the time of the show, and I had no idea how I was going to make it happen. But I actually got the tickets on the day, and I was able to get there. And I have to say, looking back on it, I mean, they could have fucking fleeced us for those tickets, which is one of the good things about Ween. But I paid, I believe it was $50 Canadian per ticket. And that was right from, I think it was like Alpine tickets or something like that. But yeah, the tickets were absolutely cheap compared to what they could have charged. I honestly would have paid probably $150 to $300 per ticket. And again, I was broke at the time. But that's what I was thinking they were going to cost, because it was the reunion. But luckily, I got them right from the main distributor of the tickets firsthand. And like I say, they were very affordable. I did talk to some people in the lineup. I talked to a guy from Saskatchewan, actually, up here in Canada, and he said that he paid $179 and could only get the first night ticket there. And when he asked me what I paid, I just said, "Oh, I don't remember, man. So sorry that you paid too much there, bud." But yeah, tickets were very reasonably priced, and it was a pretty big venue. I think a lot of us that were looking to go did end up getting tickets, and I hope that a lot of people were able to get the tickets like I did and didn't pay too much. Actually, tell me what you paid for your ticket if you were there down in the comments. I'd love to know. I'm not trying to gloat, but I think enough time has gone past that it won't open any financial wounds. I don't know. Maybe that was a turning point for you financially. You bought those tickets and then you just plummeted into financial despair. I hope not, but it could have happened. So, anyways, we'll get that out of there. Yeah, so the Ween reunion was announced. I can't remember when it was announced. I think it was 6 months. It may have been like 3 to 6 months beforehand. And how that all came about, I'm not exactly sure. I could speculate. I don't like to speculate, but I don't know Ween, and I don't know about anybody in the inner circle, so I'm just gonna speculate. And the best thing that I could find was that it was Trey Anastasio from the band Fish. Let's just get me out of the way here. Yeah, so I'm sure if you've been following the band and were in tune with the reunion, you'd heard this story here. But basically, Trey and his band Fish, they play a version of "Roses Are Free," and I think they were playing a show in 2015. Yeah, it says right there. Friday, August the 7th, 2015. They played a show. They did a version of Roses Are Free, and then they publicly implored Ween to get back together. And I'll put a link to this article. You can read it here. And I think there's even actually the show where they said that. So you can check that out there. But he said, I have to just take a quick second and send a special message out to my friends Aaron and Mickey. They're going to hear somehow through this. Guys, time to get back together and start playing again. That's from me here at Blossom. So yeah, they were implored publicly by Fish. What else could Fish get done in that manner? I'm very curious. What else could Fish get done if they just publicly asked for something? Where's Fish been the last 9 months during lockdown? Can't they make a fucking impact? I actually did a video called Fish versus Ween, and it's kind of about the conflicting fandoms and stuff. If you want to check that video out, check out my channel. That was a fun one, and it did generate some conversation, and it's funny to see how angry people can get because you like another band and you don't like their band as much as you like that band. But anyways, check that out. So anyways, let's get back on track here. Trey Anastasio magically gets Ween back together. Trey 1, life 0. Good job, Trey. He gets Ween back together, and then they announced the reunion, and I was like, where's this thing going to be? And I'd had an inkling that it might be closer on the East Coast to where they're from. It might be in Chicago, because, of course, they did the big DVD filming there. And then it was announced that it was going to be in Broomfield, Colorado. Well, I think they announced it would be Denver, because that might be the greater Denver area. I don't know a lot about that. But Broomfield, Colorado. And so I got my ticket. And I was like, Simpsons are going to Broomfield, man. I'm going down to Broomfield there. I don't know anything about Colorado. I probably never would have gone in my life had it not been for the reunion. But I did enjoy my time down there. I do have to say that I made a rather startling revelation. And I was thinking, why Colorado? And I read, I think later on, I think Dean had the Honey Pot Lounge down there, some kind of weed selling business or something like that. If you know more about this, let me know. I don't know if it's still going, but I think they had some connections down there, and they'd done some New Year's shows down there, and I think it's kind of not really in the middle of the country. I don't know. If anybody knows why it was Broomfield, do let me know. But I have a theory. I have a hypothesis here as to why Broomfield. And I have to tell you, the minute I got off the plane in Denver, the Denver airport, I looked around and I was like, this place is fucking brown as fuck. Like, everything that I saw was brown. There was some snow. There was some montagne in the background. There was some mountains, but for the most part, driving around, everything was fucking brown. And if you look at this map that I've prepared using my topographical resources that I have here at Ween Talk, you'll notice an abundance of brown. There's some trees, there's some stuff like that, but it was starkly brown. And I don't think that theory needs any more explaining as to why I think it might be relevant. So anyways, let's get that off. So anyways, I'm just kind of recounting my personal experience of the reunion because it's fun to tell a story, and it's fun to have a personal connection. I read that somewhere. When you're doing public speaking, it's better if you can incorporate a story into what you're speaking. I read that somewhere. Anyhow, I get to Colorado. I made the mistake of staying in Broomfield because I was like, the show's in Broomfield, so I should stay in Broomfield. But what I didn't know is that Broomfield's just kind of like a part of it's like maybe it's a far-reaching suburb of Denver. I could be wrong. I don't know. Nick, who listens to the show and was a guest on the show, if you're listening right now, you're from Colorado. Maybe you can fill in some of these Colorado blanks for me. But in any event, I got down there and I stayed at a hotel up on a hill, fucking miles away from anything. There was absolutely nothing to do there. It was like a 20-minute frigid walk to Walmart where I bought shitty beer, Michelob Ultra, some garbage. But that could be a whole other fucking show. Like, what is wrong with some of this beer you guys have down there? And I'm not just trying to trash you because I'm going to praise the beer situation a little later, but the domestic beer options in Walmart in America suck. You guys need to sort that out. You know, we got a lot of good beers up here. I know you've got craft beer. I know you've got craft beer down there. That's what you should be selling at Walmart. Walmart, if you're listening, sell that shit. I'm getting woefully off topic here. But anyways, I was staying at a hotel, and the Mile High City, the elevation in Colorado. Here's a shameful fact. I got to the hotel, and I never take elevators. I never do it. If there's a staircase, I always take the stairs. And mainly, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not like a fitness thing. That's more like a when I'm traveling, especially, I'm usually eating garbage. Like if there's a layover at some airport, I will find the trashiest, junkiest thing to eat. I don't like taking elevators. You get in an elevator and there's personal seepage. There's an emission of gas, and I have a fear of farting in elevators. That's the fact of that matter. But anyways, I got there. I realized that I'd made a mistake because I figured there were probably a lot of people just staying in Denver, and I should have stayed in Denver because there was not going to be a party situation in that hotel. I did see some other Ween people. I saw some guy pushing like a stereo cooler with a big boognish face, and I kind of Homer Simpsoned over and tried to make some conversation, but it ended up being like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber when he comes out of that convenience store, and I'm just like, wow, coolers, huh? Big gulps. And then nothing. So yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not as charismatic as I think I am. But yeah, no friends were made at the hotel. But we're not here to talk about rural hotels of Broomfield, Colorado. It was a nice hotel. And it was also the first time I ever tried Uber, which fucking blew my mind. Anyhow, let's move along here. So I ended up taking an Uber to the first night, and there were massive lines. If you remember this, there were just massive lines outside the facility. Everybody showed up early, which I kind of understood because it was a general admission situation. So the bowl it was a hockey arena for starters, so I already kind of felt like I knew a little bit of the lay of the land coming from Canada. It was a hockey arena, maybe from my guesstimation, maybe a 10,000 seater, something like that. So kind of like what we'd have for junior hockey up here. But anyways, so the whole upper portion, the bowl was all general admission, and then the floor was general admission, and I had I had a bowl general admission ticket. So yeah, we were all looking to storm and get in there. But anyways, as I did finally get into the show, I found out that the reason there was a lineup is because everybody was there to buy merchandise. And I didn't end up buying any merchandise, especially the posters. People were going fucking crazy for the posters. But yeah, the lineups, like you got in, there was a 500 person lineup to get in. You're frozen cold. And then there was like a 500 person lineup to get merchandise. So I did not end up getting any merchandise. What I did end up getting, and we're going to tie it back to the beer thing though, was for like $8 US or something, which is still probably about $12 Canadian. But for $8 US, I got a fucking king can of Budweiser, which I can drink with no great difficulty, and drink it I did. There were also tall cans, I believe, of Stella. They're like, and king cans too, the big one that you hold it up next to your stomach, and you're like, this is going in me. I'm gonna piss myself. This is a big amount of beer for $6. So $12 Canadian. I do have to say that's a good price, because when we go to a hockey game or concert up in Canada, it can be like $8 for a tiny little cup, like the size, basically like a can, right? San Pellegrino. So like a can, and that's what we're paying up here, man. And it's not right, you know. We have our problems up here. That is one of them. I know you guys are going through some turbulent times down there, but I just want to let you know we got problems up here too, man. The beer's a little better, in my opinion, but it's fucking expensive. So thank you for that. Anyways, get into the stadium night one, and I get some really cheap beer, and I just start getting drunk because you know what? Everybody's super fucking happy. There are some people who are getting a little fucked up, and I'm just happy to be there. So I position myself. If you have the stage, obviously at one end of the rink where the rink would be, if it wasn't a concert, you've got the stage here. I was just up off on the Gene Ween side of the stage. I got up there. I met some pretty funky people that were absolutely fucking obliterated. I can understand getting obliterated at the end of the show or at night 2 or night 3 or maybe just for night 2. But like these people that I met were paralytic, and I introduced myself to them. They were nice. I can't remember where they were from. I want to say that they were from Missouri or something like that. I don't really remember, but they were like, "Oh, your name's Colin." Like Americans always call me Colin. Colin, Colin. All right, Colin from Canada. Okay, and they agreed to save my seat. I got to talking to them, but they were absolutely fucking out of it. And I remember, in the middle of night one, I had to go take a piss, so I went and took a piss, and I was like, "Hey, can you watch my seat or whatever?" And they were like, "Yeah, for sure." And then when I came back to get into my seat, the guy who I talked to was like, "You can't sit there. Our buddy Colin from Canada is gonna sit there." I'm like, "I am Colin from Canada," and he's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's me." Yeah. So, anyways, they were nice people, but they were fucked up. And somebody who traveled as far as I was to come see the show, I was going to get drunk for sure, but I wasn't going to get so inebriated that I wasn't going to remember things moment to moment, let alone the show later on. So, I hope that they had a great time, and I hope they have the great memories that I have. Also, on that night one, like I say, people were ready to go, and I think I've kind of alluded to this story during one of my other videos, but I was standing on an aisle at the end of an aisle, and because I was close to the stage, people just kind of crowded forward, and that was really cool. You could just go anywhere you wanted and kind of free roam around, and there was not one like pricky or douchey sort of interaction that I saw about people standing anywhere. Everybody was just super charged to be there. But anyways, right as the show was beginning, a couple came up and stood next to me, good looking people, and the guy's lady was kind of right in front of him, and they were right beside me, and Buddy takes out a canister of a certain substance, and he pours it on her shoulder, and he ingests it through his nostrils right off of her shoulder. And I saw it, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, fuck, you guys like Ween too, eh? Big gulps, huh?" And he looks at me, he's like, "You want one, man?" And he offered me one right off of her shoulder. And did I do it? Did I do it? I'm going to let you decide. I think that some things are best left to the imagination. But those are some very nice memories I have from night one. And I think that it would be cool to look at the set list from night one, because there were a couple of things that still stand out in my mind. I didn't even take any notes. I just remember all this shit, huh? How's that for cognitive function, Mom? Okay, so there it is. So we'll just make me a little smaller here. We'll shrink me down to size. Oh. We're just going to shrink me down to size there. That was fun for me. And we're going to take a look at this night one set list. So I do remember when they first came out, it was a pretty deafening roar. People were very happy, and I think I speak for everyone when Gene and Dean and the rest of the guys in the band really enjoyed. I mean, they've been through some tribulations, some personal shit. They've been broken up, and you could totally see when they came out that they recognized the appreciation that everybody had for them, and that was really nice to see. And and they began, in my opinion, on an absolutely perfect note with what Gina was talking about. Now, what I have opened up here on the screen is the archive.org. I think it's basically a bootleg. Okay, so don't bootleg shit, but check this one. That's pretty good. But there's the whole set list, and like I say, they started off with what Dina was talking about. Went into Buckingham Green. They got Bananas and Blow, Japanese Cowboy, Roses Are Free out there, and I believe there was a big confetti explosion on. Well, maybe that was Homo Rainbow. I can't remember. If you remember, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that was a fucking killer night of Ween. Let me get out of the way there. Even if it was just a regular set list for a regular show, that'd be a fucking fantastic night. I remember they did Mushroom Festival in Hell, and I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to see that song live, but definitely saw it live there. And the 3-part vocal harmony at the end of Homo Rainbow was particularly rousing. But yeah, the thing that most impressed me musically about night one, though, was that they closed with Buenos Tardes, Amigo. And I was a big fan of this song, but the only time that I'd seen them prior to this was at the Vancouver show, the Meltdown show, which I've talked about in episode 1. And this totally redeemed every bit of disappointment that I had for that. And interestingly enough, some people on that video have commented that I was being too negative about that. But in retrospect, I'm like, what the fuck was positive about that? The show was a fucking disaster, and they ended up breaking up, and Gina was in a fucking personally bad situations. So yeah, there was nothing good about that. But anyways, this experience totally redeemed things for me, and I was extremely glad to have been there. So you can check this set list out, and there's audio there as well. You can check that out. You can listen to the whole show, and we're going to check out night 2 here that I've got opened up. But I also want to say, regarding this kind of content on the show, one of the reasons that I started this channel was to make like a sort of aggregate resource for people who may be heavily into Ween or just getting into Ween to check out. And so all this stuff that you're seeing on my screen, you can check out in the links below, and everything that I talk about in all the videos, I usually source it and put links down below as well. So moving along to night 2, which was the 13th of February. They had another sort of intro. They came out, people went fucking ape shit. And they started off with pork roll, egg, and cheese. And these set lists were masterpieces. And then at the end, I do remember the Polo Asada bit was a little weird after Dr. Rock. And they closed with Demon Sweat that night. But Dr. Rock was fucking absolutely astounding. And then what else is there in this night here? The middle, I think they did the acoustic set on night 2. They did Tried and True. I think they did an acoustic set. I can't remember. I can't fucking remember, but there's actually video that I'll link to later, and you can fucking check it out for yourself. But another great night of Ween, and then night 3 was probably, I like night 1 and I like night 3 the best, for sure. They started off with exactly where I'm at, and they finished on the Blarney Stone, which was fucking massive, 10,000, 12,000, however many of us were there, just screaming out that song. And then one night they did You See Me? And yeah, that was night 3. So night 3, I remember it quite well because my first night I was side stage, and that was pretty cool being up close. But I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but Diener's fucking guitar was fucking blisteringly loud. And I know if it's too loud, you're too fucking old, man. No, it was fucking loud, like slightly ruining the mix kind of loud, but it was fucking loud. San Pellegrino. So anyways, midway through night 2, and for all of night 3, I went and sat kind of right at the back of the arena, and it was fantastic because I could put my feet up. There were chill people around. There was weed going around, other stuff going around. You had a great view. It was a small facility compared to like a big stadium or something like that, and it was, being at the back there, I had a completely unrestricted view, and it was great. But Did You See Me fucking blew my mind out. I got fucking shivers when they played that, and I'm probably going to listen to this afterwards here. But it was a fantastic 3 days and of music, and a fantastic time for Ween fans who were there. Just give me 1 sec here, and up I go again. One enduring memory I have about night 3 is that after the show, I was trying to get an Uber, and I made the mistake of going out into the parking lot to try and find one. It was pretty cold. It was probably I want to say it was -10 at least, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for you people down there, but it's fucking cold. It's cold enough to be fucking cold, and I just had a light jacket on and stuff like that. So I had my phone out, and I was trying to get an Uber, and my phone got cold and shut off. And so I was basically stranded in the middle of the brown, winterscape of Broomfield, Colorado in February with no ride back to my hotel and a frozen phone. But I ended up meeting these guys from Detroit, and they basically, not only did they offer to share the ride, basically they let me go in their cab. They gave me a ride back to my hotel, which was the opposite direction that they were going in. And they offered to let me actually come stay in Denver with them until my phone sort of thawed out and party. But I was a little pooped after 3 days of Ween, and I had to fly out early the next day. And but anyways, those guys, whoever those guys were from Detroit, they helped me out, and they got me back to my hotel. And I fell asleep eating Dominoes and drooling all over myself. That was a good day for the call man. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up my experience of the reunion show. Again, if you're coming here, you want to add to the conversation in the comments below, let me know. And I also want to say that I do want to have guests on the show. I had Nick from Colorado on. It was fun to talk to another Ween fan. You don't have to have some, you don't have to have anything prepared or anything like that. We can just talk about Ween for 20 minutes. How hard can that be? So if you're out there interested in being on the show, the only requirement is that you want to be on. And so get in touch with me. You can see the wrong fucking way again. My social stuff is over here. You can message me on there, If you want to come on the show, I'd love to talk to you. Quickly, before we go, I just want to talk about something else again in keeping with kind of exploring some of the resources that are out there for Ween. Not Browntown again. Browntown! Um, where the fuck did it go? Here it is. Here it is. This, if you're not familiar with this is Brown Tracker 1.0. We're still waiting for 2.0. We don't know when it's coming, but there's 1.0. That's an extremely cool place to go find stuff. I think there's audio on there. There's video on there. You can check how many times they played Boing, over their career and where they played it. You should check that out. It's a cool place. And I was interested about the creation of that site. And so I actually did some fucking sleuthing and I emailed them because I wanted to know about it. And anyways, the person who just identified themselves as JD, I was going to try and get them on here to talk, but I'll read the email. Hey, sorry it took me a week to get back to you. This is an email that I sent to Brown Tracker, and the makers of Brown Tracker actually emailed me back. But hi, Colin. So sorry it took me a week to get back to you. I'm usually more on top of things than that. Anyways, it's just me running Brownbase. I built it to fulfill my graduation requirements for a web development degree in community college, but the real motivation was selfish. I like to nerd out on set lists of bands I like. Ween had a cult of the Boognish at the time, but it was just a static HTML website, so I think there was a website called Cult of Boognish. I built Brownbase so I could sort and filter and really get into the statistical side of things with Ween. It makes me super happy that so many other Ween fans enjoy it too. I really appreciate your interest in Brownbase, and I'm flattered that you'd want to talk to me on your podcast. However, I'm a pretty private person when it comes to my online presence, and I don't want my face or voice out there anymore. You know what? That's a good point. I should have thought about that before I started all this shit, but here, now my face is out there. It's not only out there, but it is large, and it's out there, and I don't fucking care. So, let's just stay this large for the rest of the episode. There's not much time left. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to Ween Talk. Oh, Browntown is back. Oh, geez, what am I doing? This is why they pay people to run shows on television back when people watched television, because you got people like me just doing this. We don't know. You're just getting fucking seasick watching this, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm all hopped up on San Pellegrino. And look, thank you for watching. If you're new here and you've enjoyed any of that, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And like I say, please feel free to let me know anything that you might be thinking down in the comments. And we got a big day for my American neighbors down in the States there. And I just want you to know that no matter what happens, Colin in Canada is here for